So I'll just throw it out there. I have the Patriots going 1-15.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah. Patriots 1-15. It's not a guess. That's how it's going to be. And Bill Belichick is a good coach, and Josh McDaniels is done fine. But the amount of talent that they let go of and let go in different places, um, compared to what they still have on the roster, nobody knows anything about Jared Stidham. Nobody, I can't say nobody knew about him coming out of college, but he's never been a guy where people thought, oh yeah, he could be a every year kind of starter and be an MVP in the league, and that's why you bring in a guy like Brian Hoyer to be his backup. Kind of the same thing that the Jets are doing. You get an experienced guy behind him. Things don't go well, you can throw him in there. Sony Michel and James White. Really, the whole offense is full of names that people know, basically because it's the Patriots, but they're not people that are effective. And you take Tom Brady out of that equation, and how often is Julian Edelman going to get the ball? Is chemistry going to be the same? I'm sure it's going to be the same offense. They have the same coaches, but Brady knew it so well. Can somebody else come in and do it just the same? And I guess Garoppolo showed that he had what it took, and Castle showed that. So maybe it's possible, but they don't have the talent that they normally have there. As good as that defense was, they lost a lot of key pieces. They still have some good players, but I think that they have a lot of holes that they didn't fill in free agency. They didn't fill it through the draft, and wasn't really sure why the direction was to go with a lot of defensive guys when defense was already the strong part of the team. I thought they would have wanted to put a couple pieces around their young quarterback. But they also have the hardest projected schedule in the league, which doesn't really help their case. So I just don't have a lot of faith in the Patriots.
Yeah, so the Patriots have the hardest. I want to make a quick note of this. The Patriots have the hardest schedule, and I think the Dolphins have the third, and the Bills have the fifth. Is that right?
Yeah. The whole division's in between 25 and 32 on the list of who has the hardest schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. With the parity of this division, it's good. With the parity that I see in this division, it's good that they all have that in common. So one doesn't have, you'd hate to see one of them have the easiest schedule and the other one have the hardest and have it that much of an influence. So, but it is crazy that they're all that strong. What do you think, Zach?
I don't think they're going to be that bad this year. I don't think, obviously, they're going to be the Patriots that we've all known for 2 decades. I have them 8-8, 2-4 in the division. They're going to beat the Jets, and I think I got the Dolphins losing at New England. So they're 2-4 in the division, 8-8 overall. They're not going to make the playoffs. They do have a solid defense. Belichick's a defensive coach. They'll be pretty good like they normally are there. They're returning 2 Pro Bowlers and Dante Hightower and Stephen Gilmore. As far as quarterback goes, I don't know, man. I mean, anybody who's ever stepped in for Brady in the past has done well because in my opinion, Brady's a systematic quarterback, so they're all systematic quarterbacks. Hoyer's been there before. I think by the end of the year, Hoyer's going to have a full-time job, to be honest, because this other kid, he's played him, 3 games. He was 2 for 4 with an interception, 14 yards. But I know he did well in the preseason last year. So I don't know. There's a big question mark at quarterback. That's always your most important position. But who knows, man? I think they'll do all right just because of Belichick and his coaching decisions.
All right. Here I go. I have told you guys for 10 years, if you're ever putting money down, don't ever bet against Bill Belichick. Ever. If we haven't learned anything since 2003, you don't ever bet against. Not that he's not infallible and doesn't lose, but you never know when it's coming, right? Let me let me run down a little bit. And I know this is going to hurt. It hurt me. It hurt me to put these notes down. All right. It's going to hurt to hear him because we're Colts fans. Since 2000, he's led the Patriots to 17 AFC East division titles, 13 appearances in the AFC Championship game, 9 Super Bowl appearances with a record 6 wins. He's won 8 Super Bowl titles and finished as runner-up 4 times from his combined time as an assistant and head coach, including defensive coordinator with the Giants in Super Bowl 21 and 25 in 1986 and 1990. So he's the longest tenured active head coach, first all-time in playoff coaching wins with 31, third in regular season coaching wins in the NFL with 261. He's only one of 3 coaches to have won 6 NFL titles. There are other teams, the Steelers, and I think Cowboys have 5. He's only the 3rd coach. The other 2 are, that should be a trivia question. You guys know who the other 2 are?
Don Shula?
Good guess, but no. Jeff, you want to take a stab?
Huh? Landry and Noel?
No. Good guesses. No. Papa Bear Hallis, Curly Lambeau. He's the only coach to do it in the Super Modern Bowl era. He was named the AFP NFL Coach of the Year in 2003, 2007, and 2010. He's the only active coach named to the National Football League 100th Anniversary All-Team. He's the greatest coach to ever coach the game. Those statistics I just read are just unmatchable, period. The only way that I see this happening is that the game is passing him by, that he doesn't have the energy, he doesn't have it in him anymore, that it's getting technical, and that happens to coaches that I've seen in my whole life. I don't know if that's the case or not. Or Jeff, maybe he tanks. He's not stupid. He could throw the whole year away and try to reload for next year. I just think this guy has a way, and we talked about it with Matt Castle and Jimmy Garoppolo, and he just has a way of plugging things into his system that work, or manipulating his system to make it work. Or I don't know what he does. I would venture to say there isn't anybody that knows what he does, or they'd win 6 titles. So I just can't bet against the guy. Now I've got them third in the East. In all fairness, I'm kind of tipping my hand here a little bit. I personally think the East is a 3-way toss-up. I think the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Patriots, any one of the 3 could win it. Any one of the 3 could bomb. The Patriots could, win 5 games, or they could win. I don't think they'll win any more than 11. I think they're somewhere between that 5-win to 11-win swing in there. I know that's a broad range, but it all comes down to how the other 2 teams I talked about, Buffalo and Miami. If Buffalo shows up like everybody thinks they're going to, which we're getting ready to get into that, and what Miami does under Flores. But so I don't really know. I've got them third, but I think it's so unpredictable. I really think this is going to be the division to watch. One of the divisions to watch. I think a lot of the other ones have a pretty clear front runner, and if not 2 strong teams. But I think any one of these 3 teams can make the playoffs here.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't think it'd be a bad idea, because the realistic chance of Belichick tanking, probably not high, but it wouldn't be a bad idea. He already lost enough players this past offseason, and he needs to be able to clear some cap space. So if he kind of pulls off what the Dolphins did last year, where they just give away players and cut players off the roster, you get cap space, you get some draft capital, and the Dolphins were able to use all that capital to sign a bunch of players that are going to be key role guys this year. They have a bunch of draft picks that they're bringing in this year, have a bunch of draft picks still next year for some of those moves. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the route that Bill Belichick want to take. People like one of the McCourtys, who trade off both of the McCourtys at some point in the year, get rid of those contracts, something like that.
Yeah, I can see that happening. Man, if I'm Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick comes in and says, "Don't expect anything this year," I wouldn't have to think long back and hard to be able to be like, okay, everything that guy's given to the franchise. I don't know. We'll see. But there is again I want to point out there is a real possibility that this whole thing could have passed him by. And the Patriots just may be an average team from here on out.
Man, that would be great.
Yeah, I'm sure all the AFC East fans and the former AFC East fans, everybody but anybody in Boston agrees, I think.
Pretty much, yeah.